back to my channel. Today I bring you November's wrap-up. And I cannot believe that we are at the last wrap-up of the year. Okay, we still have December, but that's gonna be next year. And this is the last wrap-up that is happening this year, and it's so crazy. But yeah, we are almost done with this year, which thank God, honestly. But I'm so excited. I read some amazing books in November. I actually read a lot, so I really want to get this started so it's not gigantic. I'm gonna do my best to do it as short as I can, but I did read a lot and I'm very happy with that. But yeah, let's get started. The first book I read in November was Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare, the first book in the Last Hours trilogy, and I was so excited to read Chain of Gold. I think I've been waiting to read it since last year. Well, definitely since last year. I was so excited, and then it just took me forever to get to it, but I finally did, and I'm so happy. I love the book so much. Like, I was expecting to like it, but I was not expecting to like it as much as I did. I was genuinely really surprised with how much it just it was so amazing, so interesting and action-packed, and it had a lot of depth. Like, all the characters are so layered and they have so many things going on, and you need to like really get into them, and you get into them, and so interesting. I just love that all the characters are so amazing. And this is another book in the Shadowhunters Chronicles series world. I think it's Chronicles anyways, and you know, it's in there, but I think that you can read this one pretty much alone. You don't have to have read all the Shadowhunter books. Probably if you really want to understand the details of it, having read Infernal Devices is a good idea, but I think I can start with the Last Hours and not feel too out of depth. So that's nice, because most of them you actually need to have read a lot of Shadowhunters to get to them, but this one you can just rest easy. And we follow Cordelia Carstairs, and she has been going all over the Europe, I think, if not a little bit other places as well, because her father is very ill, so her family moves a lot, and she doesn't know a lot of people. She has just like the Herondales as friends, which it's pretty lonely. But now they have to move to London because her father was wrongfully accused and in prison, and she is very desperate to prove that her father is innocent. So she goes there with that mentality that she will do what she needs to do to prove that her father is innocent and that everyone is wrong, and she needs some allies for that. So it's like she's trying to get into the society that she doesn't know anybody and everything. It's pretty interesting. But when she gets there are these attacks that are happening that nobody really knows what is going on or why this is happening after London had pretty much no demonic activity for years. So everyone is just wondering what's going on, and of course now she and her friends how to figure out what's going on and discover everything, which is pretty much YA book, you know, the formula. And anyways, I really love the characters. They are all so amazing. I love the Meritives, they are so sweet. But my favorites are Cordelia and Matthew. They are my children and I need to protect them. They are adorable. And it's just a nice dynamic. Their friendships are so pure and so sweet. They really support each other. But it also has a lot of depth and character development and a lot of other things that are going on through it. It's just really interesting. I just love it so much. I just really hope that Claire doesn't go with the whole love triangle thing, because honestly I'm a little tired of Claire's love triangles, and this one it's incredibly unnecessary, and I don't want it, I don't see it, and I will rage if it happens because I don't want it. Anyways, I think this is probably gonna be one of my new favorite trilogies in the Shadowhunter Chronicles, and I gave the book 5 stars, and I cannot wait for Chain of Iron. Then I read the Star Wars Darth Vader issue 6 in the Star Wars Darth Vader comics that have been coming out this year by Greg Pak. I gave it 3 stars. It was really nice to end the whole thing, and Vader has been trying to understand what happened why Luke exists, because he thought he had died with Padme, and he's just memory lane, and it's interesting to see how everything progress and what happened, things that we didn't know before. I like it. It was nice for the ending, but I also felt like there wasn't a lot happening in that last issue. It was nice. I like the ending. I like the potential for the next volume. So yeah, that's it. Then I read The Lost Book of the White by Cassandra Clare, the second book in the Eldest Horses trilogy. And yes, this was my month to get with Cassandra Clare's books, because I had not read the whole year Cassandra Clare, and I couldn't let it go without reading them. And I had such a blast reading this book, which I will not say again the name because it's super long, but I had such a blast reading the book. It was so funny, and I loved getting back with most of the cast. For the Mortal Instruments, you have Jace and Clary and Simon and Isabel, and it was just amazing to get it. I love them because they are my favorites and they are my babies, so it just makes me really happy. And this book is centered mostly around Magnus and Alec, and I can't really say what it is about, but it is a lot of mystery, and the Lost Book of the White. Well, the Book of the White gets lost, and they have to find it because it's a very powerful book, and if it gets into the wrong hands, that could be catastrophic. So it's very important that they get it back, and it's just nice. I will say that to read this book, you need to have read the Tales from the Shadowhunters Academy and to have finished the Mortal Instruments. Otherwise, you're gonna spoil yourself and look through the book and what happens in in the Mortal Instruments series and in Tales from the Shadowhunters Academy. So you need to have read it, because the book happens a few months after the end of Tales from the Shadowhunters Academy and 2 or 3 years after the Mortal Instruments. So yeah, that's very, very, very important. But otherwise, it was really nice. I feel like it's kind of a love letter to Magnus. I know it's a lot about Magnus and Alec, but I do think that it was more of a love letter to Magnus, which I love because I love Magnus, and it was really sweet to get to see all these things. And it's just really nice. It was really cute, and I said that it was really funny, but it also had a lot of very emotional moments that I was just like, oh my god, just hit me in the heart, why don't you? And it was just really sweet. And they are trying to, Magnus and Alec are just trying to balance their life again, because things have changed since they first started into this world, and now they have to find another balance to their life, and they are trying to figure out how they are gonna put their priorities and figure everything out. And it's very sweet, it's very adorable, wholesome, and very warm. And you also have great comedy, which was amazing, and I loved it. I gave it 4 stars because it was just really nice, but it didn't quite reach that obsessive point, even though I had a blast with it. I really need to know what will happen in the Black Volume of the Dead, which I really hope comes out next year. But I have so many theories for that book, and for the Wicked Powers, which you have no idea. After that, I read a very hyped book, and that is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by me, Schwab. And oh my god, I really, really, really wanted to read this book. And when I say that, it's not even enough, because I just needed to read this book. I've been low-key obsessing over it for more than a year, and I knew that I was really gonna like it when I read it. So of course I had to, and the whole idea is amazing. You have Addie, who in 1714 made a pact with the devil when she was very desperate, and she had been warned to never make deals and never pray to the gods that answer in the night, but she did, and things didn't go exactly as she wanted them, because of course they didn't, and she ends up in this situation where nobody remembers her. The people that knew her forget her, and every new person that she meets will forget her the moment she's out of their sight, quite literally. So nobody remembers her. She cannot leave a mark in the world. She cannot write her name or say her name or write anything or do anything that will last, because she is forgotten. That's the whole point of the thing. And things are pretty interesting, and you see her going through this journey through the years. She's immortal also, by the way, she's also immortal, and she's going through all this change in the world, and she is basically unchanged. She cannot do anything to change the world or to leave a permanent mark, and how she deals with all of this. And then we fast forward to the present, 2014, and you know, she's going through her life. She has things figured out by most of the time, and she's used to her course and how to live with that, until she meets this guy who remembers her, and that changes everything. And it's so interesting and such a profound message as well, because it treats all what loneliness is, what it means to interact with the world, to leave a mark, and how important that is, and how you do that. So it's very, very deep in all of that, and I love the undercurrent of it, and also Schrank's writing styles. It's just so luscious and beautiful, and she always captures me in her books. I read literally 2 of her books, but I just die with her writing style because it's so pretty. And also the ending, it's so nice. I have heard that it had a very round, very neat ending, and I was very curious to see why and how it happened. And I agree that the ending was perfect for the book. I love it, and I think that when I reread it, because I will be rereading it, it will be a completely different experience now that I actually can understand what is going on and all the pieces that are moving. And I think this is the kind of book that you will enjoy a lot more once you reread it. Not that you won't enjoy it the first time, but the rereading experience is going to be absolutely out of here and amazing, and I just really want to get to that. I ended up really liking the book. As I said, I gave it 4.75 stars, and it's definitely one of the best books I read this year. Then I read another short comic, which was Last Fight of the Harbinger by Jason Aaron, the 4th book in the Star Wars comic series that has been going on since 2015. And this one was just a nice little thing where Luke, Han, and Leia want to help a planet that is oppressed by the Empire, and to do that they have to do something very crazy and very, very dangerous, a surprise. And you know, it's just them trying to figure this out, which was normal. You have their normal shenanigans. But what I loved about this particular volume was that we get a sneak peek into the Stormtrooper Squadron, the Scar Squadron, and you see these people that actually genuinely believe that the Empire is the best way to go, that they are the good dudes and everything, and that the rebels are, well, they are traitors and they are very dangerous, which was really nice because it always fascinates me, which I loved. I loved that, and it was fun. It opened a lot of doors for next volume, actually, which the other volumes did not do, which I'm excited to see how everything happens after that. I gave it 3 stars. It was nice, it was fun, and I had a blast reading it. The art style is really funny, I love it. Next, I read another shortish read, and that is Camp Jupiter Classified, a Probacious Journal. That's quite a mouthful of a name by Rick Riordan, the 4.5 book in the Trials of Apollo series. And I had no idea this thing existed until before I read it, but it was nice. It's just a little open door into Camp Jupiter and how a new person will feel and will act in this world, and it was nice. It's still in journal entries, which was a nice way to move everything forward very fast. It's a short book and I liked it, but Claudia, which is the protagonist, and did get on my nerves a little bit. It's not my favorite. It was okay. It's in the world that I love, and yeah, it had a nice story, I guess, and it's just, it's just what it is. I give it 3 stars, and yeah. And the last book I read this month is a book that is sadly just in Spanish. Literally hasn't been translated to any other languages, but I loved it. It was so nice, and that is El Príncipe del Sol, which translated will be The Sun's Prince, I guess. That sounds weird in English. But anyways, it's by a Mexican author and booktuber, which is one of my favorite booktubers ever. I just love it, and the book was so nice. And we have this land Fenrir, where we have these two kingdoms, Ilaria and Alaris. I forgot to write this second, oh my god. Ilaria and Alariel, and you know, Alariel is the kingdom of the sun and Ilaria is the kingdom of the moon, and they have powers. Not everyone, but some people have powers, and they were in a very vicious war some centuries ago, but now have found a little bit of peace after they signed a treaty, basically by just not interacting together, which to each its own, I guess. And if it prevents war, it's okay. But now that the sun's Alariel's queen is missing, the treaty is in a very perilous situation and it's about to break, and nobody wants that because nobody wants to go to war again. And you know, we need to find the queen that has been missing by 6 months now, but they have looked for her everywhere and they cannot find her. So her son, the sun's prince, will go with his friends. We'll go with his friends to find her and to see what's going on. To finally take action, which it's really nice. I was so thoughtfully impressed with the book. I was expecting it to be interesting and nice, but not to pull all the punches that it did, because it did not pull out any punches. It just did what it did. It went down that road and it was amazing. It was so interesting. I just really loved it. It was full of action and amazing friendship. All the characters are so cute. Oh my god, I love them so much, and the friendship between them is so pure. They are so pure. I just love it, and I had a blast going through it. The end was super action packed and doing all these twists that even though I did expect and I did see coming, because it's pretty easy to figure out if you have read enough, I think. But it did twist them enough that I was surprised by them. And it's their first book, and I was very impressed with what she did. I think she has a lot of potential, and I cannot wait to see where she goes from there. I think she can be an amazing writer, and she is already an amazing writer. And I had a blast reading the book, which I expected, but at the same time not. I don't know, it's funny. To me, I love Emil. He's my son. He's amazing, and I just need to protect him, and the next book's gonna be amazing. As I said, it's just in Spanish, sadly, but if you do speak Spanish, I will so recommend it because it's so good. I gave it 3.75 stars, and that was a very great way to end the month. And those were the books I read in November. I hope you can find something here that you can relate to or that you know, like, and tell me down below what was your favorite book of November, and you know, is it a good way to start closing the year and everything that goes with that. And if you like the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give the video a big thumbs up, and click the little bell icon so you can get notified every time I post a new video. You can follow me on my social media, Instagram and Goodreads, where I'm very active, and so we can talk and you can see at real time what I'm reading and what I think about a book. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Bye!